President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. I think by and large this is moving very quickly compared to other administrations, and I think across the board he's done some very good things. I think he's gotten rid of birthright citizenship.
Illegal as hell.
But what is going on right now today is the House of Representatives and the Senate are totally abdicating their responsibility to You stand here and say, I'm not sure about that, or I'm not sure about that. You put up, frankly, some of these slides are very misleading. Let's talk about the Trump tax cut. How much of that deficit in that jump from 22 up was the tax cuts to the incredibly rich people of the world who are now in our White House and dismantling our government? You are an attorney. You are an officer of the court, in addition to swearing an oath to our Constitution, and yet, well, you and so many of your colleagues are just sitting around watching. Well, I don't know, we'll see what happens next month. Oh, those workers have rights, and yes, they've been violated, so now they're getting processed. Our courts can't handle this. These people have planned this for years, and they are doing it. It is a fire hose of action. Illegal actions that even you acknowledged right here, but we'll just worry and let the courts sort it out. There won't be a country left to run, sir, if you guys just sit back and are afraid of a primary.
And as you can see, all of this revolves around the massive amount of latitude that Elon Musk is getting. And the reality is that Musk's actions are increasingly unpopular. According to a Morning Consult poll, Elon's approval rating is already underwater among Americans, 49% disapprove to 39%. That's a net negative 10-point approval rating. Or how about the Washington Post, which showed something similar? Musk having a prominent role in the administration is viewed as a bad thing by a 2-to-1 ratio. The Post-Ipsos poll showed Americans disapprove by a similarly wide margin, 52 to 26, of Musk shutting down federal government programs that he decides are unnecessary, and Americans said 63 to 34 that they are concerned about Musk's team getting access to their data, which is the subject of high-profile legal fights. Even 37% of Republican-leaning voters said that they are at least somewhat concerned about Musk getting their data. And that's what we're seeing be put on full display at these town halls across the country. The reality is that there is a difference between Republican constituents voting for a Republican president and an unelected billionaire taking a hatchet to government programs that impact those very voters, especially considering that billionaire doesn't need or care about Medicaid or Social Security or cancer research or education funding or veterans' jobs at the VA. But I can assure you that their partisan allegiance to Trump will not supersede their need for these earned benefits or medical care or education. And Republican officials are learning that lesson in real time. Granted, the GOP was leaning on this idea that they could get away with it by purposefully relying on a strategy of blitzkrieging the entire federal government with as much extreme and destabilizing policy as possible. Part of this, of course, is just to flat out hurt people because it'll inure to the benefit of Trump's donor class, but there's another part of the strategy that's about the perception of power. It is designed to make us numb to his actions and to just give in. This is a strategy to overwhelm the media and the opposition, meaning the Democrats, with rapid-fire actions, all to create the illusion of strength and control. And this strategy isn't even a secret. Here is Steve Bannon outright admitting to it on camera.
So what we've got to do is just hit, and keep it. It's momentum. The opposition party is the media. And the media can only, because they're dumb and they're lazy, they can only focus on one thing at a time.
Again, the strategy is intended to be so overpowering that it prevents Americans from having the will to fight back. But what they didn't account for is that their own voters would show up to town halls like these to hold their Republican officials accountable. And they are. So clearly, what Elon is doing is unpopular, Trump allowing Elon to do it is unpopular, and these Republican lawmakers and senators allowing Trump and Elon to usurp all of their power is also unpopular. And look, we all understand why Republicans are in this position of having sat idly by with their thumbs up their asses while Trump ran roughshod over the government. They can't run afoul of Trump because they know that he'll threaten a primary challenge and Elon will fund it, and so they've just done whatever he wants. But what they didn't take into account was that if the voters themselves are lashing out, then that is a more immediate problem than the prospect of some primary challenge at some point down the road. And I can promise you that calculations will change if their own voters, in most cases Republican voters in Republican districts, districts are so pissed off like they are right now. And so the answer here for everybody watching is to continue putting pressure on these Republican officials, because if they start to see that they're losing support from the very people who are responsible for voting them into office, that becomes existential for them in a way that Trump's threats can't be. And so if you live in these districts, show up at these town halls, call these people, go to their field offices, go to their DC offices. These are the people that we need to lean on. And if one Republican caves, that gives a permission structure for others to join them and to do the same. And remember, they've only got a 3-seat majority in the House, which means it doesn't take much to block Trump's agenda. But it starts by doing exactly what these constituents are doing right now, which is showing up, getting loud, and voicing their dissatisfaction with what is going on in DC. Before you go, just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now. That link is also on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.